Hello, hello. Here we are in week 4 of your support period. Week 4. This is halfway through the 6 weeks because you're at the beginning of week 4. You have this week and you have another 2 weeks, and then we are done together, but you are prompted and primed to continue this on your own for the rest of your career as long as you require prospecting. And the likeliness is that even when you are established and your business is where you want it to be as envisaged now, is that you're going to make some kind of an about turn and look at your business differently, because this is the way goals and visions work, is that you have your objectives to a certain point and then you get there, and then hopefully you take stock and celebrate, and then you look around and see, well, and realize that this is where you got to what you envisaged. You attained your goal, you created your dream, but then you're going to be looking out and realizing that there's something else that you want. And where I realized this in the financial advisor space is in terms of, more than anything, the number of clients. And as a result of that, things like time, freedom, flexibility. It's not only newer financial advisors that take this course. It's not only the rookies, if I can call them that, in the profession. It's not only those that have been in it for 3 years and need to ramp it up with more better clients, but it's also those that are established, successful, wealthy financial advisors, but they have 1,000 clients. And it's too much because there are onerous responsibilities that they need to deliver on those 1,000 clients. Even if for example, annual reviews are automated, there's still 1,000 clients that need to be managed, serviced in a number of ways. So I have financial advisors that work with me in a number of ways where they want to, using the example of 1,000 clients, scale back to anywhere between 150 and 250 clients, but they want more of their best clients. So for example, if they call them AAA clients, perhaps of the 1,000, they only have 30, but they want 150 of those best clients. That means that they need to go out and prospect again. They may be 50 years old, so they might not have the energy that they had at 25 or 30 years old to do what they did when they were building the business. So they need to acquire a strategy and a mindset, a way of doing and a way of being that works. And that's why they take this course. That's why they work with me privately. That's why they'll also lock the boot camp onto the course once graduated. So this is you building your business, and you may reach a point sometime where you'll realize that you've attained this level of success, and then you'll set yourself more goals. So you're halfway through. You may be feeling uncomfortable, you may be feeling nervous, you may be unsure of where you're going. Well, that's fine, because you've only gone through 21 modules and 3 weeks of support. I don't expect you to be feeling 100% confident on top of your game. I hope you never do cheat yourself by convincing yourself that you are, how can we describe it, self-actualized, because you will never be in this respect. You always have to be just that little bit uncomfortable so that you keep learning, keep growing, and keep driving. Even if you are scaling back, easing out, stepping out of your business, trying to live a life with more leisure than more work, you still have objectives and goals. It may be uncomfortable to spend 3 days in your practice versus the 5 that you've spent for a number of years. You always need that little bit of discomfort. So if you're feeling very uncomfortable, now don't worry about it. We've spoken about this a lot. Growth comes through discomfort. As long as you are in action, that is the most important thing, especially now. Not so much when you're closer to creating the business that you described in an earlier module. But now, you need to be rolling. You need to be living, breathing, walking, talking like a prospecting machine. Tim Grover, I think that was his name, Tim Grover, in his book Relentless, spoke about moving from good to great, which is where most people leave it, to unstoppable. From good to great to unstoppable. That's where I want you to get to. I want you to get to good if you're not there. You're probably there. I have no doubt that you are good. Whatever, the fact that you're still here doing what you're doing, having been through the modules, being here in week 4 means that you are good. You are good. Accept that. You are moving to greatness. But once you've reached a level where it's so natural to you, you only get nervous at the level of client through the excitement of the prospect of working with a person or a company or a family. Well, you become unstoppable. Choose your level. It's something to aspire to. How are those approaches going? Remember, here in week 4, you should be in it. You should be approaching within your strategy or strategies as selected. And you should be practicing connection like never before, connecting with those that you approach and connecting in general, because that practice needs to continue through the duration of these 6 weeks, but ongoing. When I leave you or you leave me, when we part, this practice of connection needs to be ongoing. This is a connected business. You work with human beings. You connect with your clients, so you need to connect with potential clients, and that practice needs to continue. So don't leave it just for this. Don't leave it just for those prospects. Be in connection. You should by now be landing, I don't like that word, but I'm going to use it, landing those first meetings. You should be acquiring those first meetings. Your approach and your connection should be leading to your acquiring and setting those first meetings, where on the back of your approach and connection to a potential client, you've invited them to set aside time and meet with you about who you are, what you do, your business, how you do it, and so on. Your activity tracker should be buzzing. This is the template that you set up to track everything and hold yourself accountable to your weekly goals in terms of your approaches and setting the first meetings. You should have at least 15 names on there, because you had your 5 individuals that you held back with, and I challenged you to contact them. And you should have on there your 10 named individuals that you set as a hit list, individuals that you can set as goals to set these first meetings with during the course that you're on. So that's 15 names, but because you've been approaching, connecting, and inviting new potential clients into first meetings, you should have more than 15 names. It's a prerequisite 15 plus whoever else you've been prospecting as a potential client to bring into that first meeting. How are they coming along? I'd like the first meetings, how are they going? Are you nailing those first meetings? If not, well, there's some work you need to do. We don't focus in this course, in this space, on exactly how that first meeting goes, because there's an enormous amount of collateral out there in the world, and a lot of it is free. But if you're struggling in any way with those first meetings, try and get that objective perspective of how you show up so that you can tweak your approach. A very easy way of doing this is to record your conversation, even just an audio recording on your phone, and review it. Another thing you could do is take someone else into the meeting with you, a financial advisor, colleague, an admin person. There's so many ways that you can bring someone else into the meeting and have them feed back to you. You could also, because we're so virtual nowadays, is you could record your meeting with the permission of your potential client. You could record the meeting and review it afterward. This objective perspective and watching yourself, almost like you've got a camera crew following you around. We can do that. The technology's there and the people are there so that we can do that. That's what you got to do. Okay, I'll take you to a point, but then you need to take care of yourself. If you are running an event, then the invites would have gone up and you'd be following up, and you should be getting the confirmations, and you should be very well immersed in the planning, because the event is next week. All right, so be very committed to all of the admin, the logistics, and the management of whatever you need to take care and control of in order to have this event land in exactly the way that it needs to. Leave no stone unturned, because an event is a one-off or a once-off. How do we say that? It's a once-off. So there's a lot of preparation, and you're in your 4th week of preparation for this event, an event that goes down next week. All right, so be on top of it. Make sure that you are in complete control. The Facebook group. I'm sure by now, with all of my reminders, my nudges, my hints, that you are on the group and you are active in the group. If not, this is the nudge, the hint, again, the elbow in your side. Because it shouldn't end with this. And it shouldn't be only this. It should be this and so many other things. Ultimately, you want to have done the course. You want to lock the boot camp onto the course. You want to attend the free weekly webinar every Tuesday at 7:30. I can say this now because it'll probably be running indefinitely. If for some reason it doesn't exist anymore when you're on this module right now, well, something would have happened. Maybe it was bought. Maybe I was inappropriate and it was canceled. I don't know. But it's probably going to be running indefinitely. You want to be reading, you want to be speaking to people, you want to be hanging out with people that have done it. You want to be watching YouTube videos, because any learning that takes you from good to great to unstoppable is not just about one set of actions. It's about a whole lot of stuff coming together. And you have to see it like this. The Facebook group is one of those things that you bolt on to support you, because there are people there that are in the same career, the same industry, the same profession. They're also South African, because I haven't taken this across borders. They have the same need as you. And I'm managing that group so that it is positive. I don't want anyone coming to this group and dragging it down through negative stories or sob stories. This is a group where everyone comes together to be lifted and moved in the direction of success. Okay, so tell your story, ask the questions, engage in conversation. I always have an eye on it. If you are feeling in any way comfortable, I want you to get uncomfortable, tying it back to what I said at the beginning now. And the most obvious way of doing this is to increase your goals and your actions. Number of approaches, number of first meetings, the frequency, intensity, and capacity in which you're in action, just up it. Because comfortable becomes complacent, and complacency leaves you where you are. And that doesn't serve you. That negates the purpose of why you are here right now. That being said, I would like to set you a little challenge for this week. I want you to do one thing that you normally wouldn't do. I'm talking about prospecting over here. So I'm not talking about a hobby in your garden. I'm talking about prospecting. I want you to do one thing that you wouldn't normally do. You know what that is. Maybe it's cold calling, because cold calling is not a strategy that I want you to work with. Maybe it is. Maybe it's picking up the phone and making a cold call. Maybe it's approaching someone so randomly. Maybe it's you're working at this level, but you're going to approach someone at this level who's traditionally, the concept of this person has intimidated you. I challenge you to do one thing you wouldn't ordinarily do. Second, there are 3 of these. I challenge you to do one thing that you've always wanted to do, but have been too scared to do. I'll say it again. I challenge you to do one thing that you've always wanted to do, but have been too scared to do. I realize that number 1 and 2 may be an overlap, but separate them, because I want 3 challenges over here. If 1 and 2, your first thought of what that could be is an overlap, then create 2 challenges. Okay? The one you wouldn't ordinarily do, the other one you've been too scared to do. If you can't help but overlap the 2, then do it times 2. Take first challenge, second challenge, lump them, and do it times 2. So do it twice. And the third is I challenge you to call one prospect that makes you the most nervous. Could be a friend of yours, could be a colleague that you used to work with, could be a famous person, it could be an influencer. Someone that makes you the most nervous. Because even if you're doing something that you wouldn't normally do, challenge number one, it might not necessarily make you the most nervous. Okay. If you're struggling with this, lump them all together and do them times 3. But try to separate them, okay? And the last thing I want to say for today is don't just listen to this. Don't just get on this. How long have I been going for? 15 odd minutes. Don't just get on this and listen to what I have to say. Feel a little nervous, feel like you're being challenged, feel like you're a bit out of your comfort zone, agree with it. What makes this 6-week support period successful is that you are taking all of your learnings and your exercises, all of the hard work that you did in the first 21 modules, and you're applying it with this guidance and support over these 6 weeks. Don't hold back. Don't sit back. Don't hide away. Don't give up. If you need to, go back to prior modules, even if it's the first 10 modules of the course. If you need to go back because you have access to the earlier 3 modules of the 6 weeks of support, do whatever you need to. These modules, the documents, the exercises, me, the videos, my words, are everything that you need to support you and drive you. I am the digital hand that's on your shoulder going, I got you, I'm with you. Just keep going. You have all the tools, you have the skills, you have the information. Just keep going. Okay, good luck for this week. I wish you all the best. We're going to check in a week.